What you're about to see is some rehearsal footage of the cameras all focused on the drums. Just had a bit of an ego spurt that day. Wanted it to be about me. Of a tune that would become the song Bodyline on the Now What record from 2012. This is the last time we played it in rehearsal before we went in the studio 2 or 3 days later and recorded it. I personally think that the drum track on this is probably better than the one we used in the studio, but that's the way it goes sometimes. During the performance, you'll see our producer Bob Ezrin popping in and out of shot, conducting us with the arrangement. It was still fairly new and we weren't that sure of it, so he was keeping us together. You'll also hear in a couple of the small breaks Ian Gillan's voice. They're not words at this time, they're not tunes, they're just rhythmic sounds, so he's getting himself into the pulse of the thing. Quite often, in fact nearly every time, we present pieces of music to Ian, and sometimes Ian and Roger, that they have to create a song over. That's not always easy. Instrumentalists can go somewhat over the top and go a little bit mad on the arrangement, and it's almost impossible to fit a song in. Anyway, Ian was there, warbling away, working out what he was going to do. For any of you younger drummers or learners watching this, you'll notice in this piece I'm actually playing lots of what we call grace notes. And grace notes are those little tiny notes, the little inflections, and sometimes you don't even hear them. It's not important to hear them, it's important to play them. Those little drags, those little touches, they allow you to put the big important note in the right place and achieve the feel. If you don't use these grace notes, rhythms become very square, regimented, just a bit dull. So watch my snare drum hand and you'll see that it's rolling all the time. Not as much as the wonderful Buddy Rich used to do, but he used those grace notes all the time to create his feel within that swing medium. So I tend to try and use it in rock and roll, and it helps me get some of those nice feels. Anyway, this is the tune that eventually became Bodyline from Now What. Please enjoy. Bye. Before we get to the final rehearsal take we did, I'm going to explain to you how Deep Purple do our new music creation. We generally, if we can, get 2 writing sessions planned. The first one is fairly simple. We have ideas that are built up and we get those out into some shape or form that we can live with. We go away for a few weeks and then we will come back for another writing session, having lived with those first ideas, and then try and find if there's any way we can improve them. Might need changing around in tempo, or a key might be wrong, just little bits and pieces like that. Then when we get to the pre-production facility, where we really detail the ideas we have, that's a really important period. We listen back to the demos we made and we play along to them very quietly, just to keep in with the original feel and the idea we had. Now, pre-production is really important. You get everything as close as you can to being correct for the time in the studio. You really don't want to mess around wasting time in the studio because you don't know the arrangement. So these 2 weeks we spend in pre-production are really important. Apart from getting the piece of music into your head, so it's almost second nature, You don't really want to annoy the rest of the guys in the band if they know the piece and you don't. So it's really important you do your work in pre-production. So you get it as close as you can to the way you're going to play it in the studio. Anyway, that's that, and now we'll move on to the last rehearsal take.